Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is 6:30. How are y'all doing today? And I'm just going to start talking and just let people come in as they are. Because the first five, before we get started on this agenda going over this, I'm going to take this time and address something that somebody went out there and put on next door. I told people what's on next door stays right there on that next door. And I am aware of the situation, but I don't give it oxygen, and I'm not going to respond on next door because that's not a platform for that. It says that I have a conflict of interest. That my company, all services that work for Waverly Park, and I owe them $22,000. This is false information. And did the all services do work and remediation for Waverly Park? Absolutely. We did. That has nothing to do with Corey Reeves. Corey Reeves himself didn't do the work. He did part of the work, but I didn't do. There wasn't nothing that I have a whole business. I have a whole company. We do mold remediation, mold assessments. And I was asked, I did several jobs for people in the technical boundaries of the city of South Fulton. The company All Services did that work. It had nothing to do with me being on the council person. I was doing work before I got on council. Matter of fact, I've been doing this since 2000. So 22 years I've been in the business. Well before anything on this council. I did not use this platform in any kind of way to get work or teamwork, as my company, All Services, does not do any work with this municipality, but we can do work for anybody and any person who calls us. That's a fact. And so the fact that they will say I owe them $22,000 is insane. I called Ms. Victoria Rogers, who was the president of the HOA, and at the time who we spoke about that. And I was just like, is this an issue? Is a problem? And so, no, as it is not, and that's not true. So, but however, before any conflict of interest resolution of policy was passed, because I was asked that question. And she said, is this a conflict of interest? I said, no. And it's not. Not to me, not in my opinion, because this does not have anything to do with being on council. But because she asked that question, and after I completed that work, is I've not taken another job or anything in this city. And I was asked to do it again, to come back, but I didn't do it. There was a young man who finished that project off, not my company, not All Services. Because she asked the question, and because she asked it, that means it could be perceived in that manner. But that's the last one I took. So I have foregone any opportunity, even in my business, to not even have my business doing work here in the city of South Fulton. But nobody. I will recommend people. And just a sure idea, because I said, let's just stay away from it altogether. Because if it has to be a question, if it has to be questioned, or somebody has to ask that question, that could be perceived as a problem. Lo and behold, we're here today, as I'm glad I made that decision, as because we are here today. Somebody is making this, and it's untrue. But did I do work for it? That part is true. Now, that part is true. I have. But to the tune of what they're talking about, that's insane. No, ma'am. I will not, have not, cannot, and shall not do it. But I'm addressing this right here. I'm not going on next door and addressing it. I'm not addressing it on social media. But we do post these recordings. And I'm going to tell y'all, ladies and gentlemen, because see, I owe it to people on this call. You here on this call, my kitchen cabinet. Because y'all here with me. So, and y'all get me live. And Miss Galinda, I just passed her going on Fairwood. There was a traffic jam because I'm supposed to be at Birdie at Gym right now. That's why I'm not on camera, because we do a hybrid motion as we come live at Birdie on the 4th Mondays. Because that's what we do. And so I'm pulling up now. But I have to address this because I'm just like, It's crazy. But I forego what I do naturally is earn money. I earn a living now. I earn a good one. Now I've expanded my operations, but I do have an office in Savannah. Uh, we do coastal region work, we do federal work. I mean, I'm gonna be honest and legit. I don't have to do it here. But my thing is, I mean, but if anybody called, but I will. I mean, that's how I pay Georgia Power people is legitly like I have to earn a living. But because that question was asked by that HOA president at the time, that means somebody somewhere thinking about it. I don't like the people to think that hard. Okay, as they say, stay away from the appearance of it. So let me just stay from the appearance of it at all. And but I'm going to address this because it did come up, and I owe you guys. So if you hear about it, just whatever. It's something that is empty rhetoric, and I don't owe them any money back. As the job was completed, they signed off on it, and we kept moving. How you doing? All right. So I am here now. Hey, Amber. At Burnett, and so.
For those
But
who
I
are
just-
not aware, our in-person meetings are at Burdett Community Room at the Burdett Park, Burdett Gym. You're more than welcome to come out. We do on the fourth Mondays, once a month in person. Those who can't come in person, we're still online. And just so y'all know, it's always the Monday before the council meeting. And if you can't remember which Monday, it's always the meeting before the council meeting. And we can call those legislative Mondays. And we always go over the agenda for the council meeting that's coming up tomorrow. So before we get started, I don't know if anyone had a chance to look at the agenda, but it's a pretty long one. It's like 400 pages. And so what they did is put the links to all the documents that go to the agenda items. So for those of you who may have gone on the city website and saw the agenda, then you will see all of them have links. For those of you who just received the newsletter that went out at about 5:30 today, we are always going to put the agenda first because his newsletter comes out every 2 weeks. It's always going to be in front of one of his meetings. So either it's in front of the council meeting or it's in front of the work session, which is the second Tuesdays. So the newsletter always comes out second and fourth Mondays. The meetings are always second and fourth Tuesdays, other than special meetings or something in particular, but that's the general set time frame. And so tomorrow is the regular council meeting. It will be at Welcome All for those of you who want to go in person. It starts at 4 p.m. I am getting ready to bring up the screen so that we can start looking at the agenda. And we can do their thoughts. Alrighty. Can you see the agenda? Anybody?
Yes.
Thank you. Alrighty. So that being said, Councilman Reeves, you can start going over the agenda items.
So
I think everybody knows what the Pledge of Allegiance and the roll call is.
right. Have anybody had a check to look at this?
No.
Nobody. Okay. And so,
Yep,
we got,
looked over.
huh?
Yes, I read over. I'll wait till you get to certain parts. I got a couple questions.
Okay. Go to the next one. Okay, let me pull this up. But yes, indeed. 8. So did y'all have a chance to look over here? We got 2 people here today. And so thank y'all for coming out and taking the time to come out. I appreciate it. And so we still gonna keep this on in the time frame.
Right. Can you put this link in the chat?
Which link in the chat?
To
The meeting that we're looking at now.
Okay, I sure can.
mm-hmm. Okay, here we go. So the first one is you hit mute. You hit mute. You hit mute. So we're just gonna start with off speaker on that. No, that's fine. We kind of ain't quite worked out this whole hybrid meeting thing, but we will figure this out. And so agenda items, starting with the city council, city administration, 5 p.m. First read of an order that's amending the city council district maps, due reappointment as a result of the 2020 census. We're gonna have a charter amendment, creation of the city auditor, second read. And then we have an ordinance.
Wait, before you move on, do you want to talk about the district map for 5?
Oh, yes. So we can, yes. And so I wanted to actually have a copy of it that we can see, because I want people to point out we are going over the tracks. So we're not going to be no longer divided by the tracks. And so part of Welcome Mall Road on the left side, and we're increasing the territory. Well, in order for us, let me just explain this. How the city was a proportion out and was broken up in the beginning. Gentlemen, how y'all doing? In the beginning was it was out of balance. There was some more representative areas than others. Some had 18,000, some had 14,000, and we had 13,000. So in order to bring this back up into alignment, we had to get everybody equal. So the state assembly assembled a proportion amount from their appropriations office. They drew up a map that it will bring it into balance and presented it to us. And so we had several rounds to ensure that we would come into balance, and then just kind of work amongst ourselves to see what would be amenable, if we was going to give up something, if we was going to increase something, or what we had to work with each other. So we did that. After 8 rounds, got it into balance. And so some districts lost some areas, but we all lost areas. And so, but then we had to gain areas too as well. And so we did gain some that crosses over, going over to Welcome Mall Road, up the White City Road, because one thing they had to do was stay in proportion. And this is bringing it to alignment versus based on the number of people in the district. So yes, and as soon as that map becomes available, I'm going to get a large blow-up area to show where we were, and then where we are, and how that affected us. So as soon as we finalize that, then we will be able to present it. So I will be doing that. Thank you, Tamiko.
I do have the draft. Do you want me to show the draft or not, or yet?
The draft map of what it's number 8, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, go ahead, show that. this is a hybrid model. So we ain't kind of like worked all of the situations that kicked out because
Well,
the
right
one thing
now
I
we
did
keep
was do-
looking up at the ceiling. Right now, we keep looking at the ceiling like, did I fall asleep or something?
You did not. You did.
Huh?
That's funny. That's because I realized I got two phones here working.
Oh,
I'm looking at this, and then I'm looking at
okay, I see.
right. So let me take it off video. How about that?
Okay, good. I
All right.
see. Yeah.
Hello, how's everybody?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. No, we have a. Let me do this. We have people here today. We have actual people here today.
Oh,
We actually have people who showed up today. That's what I'm talking about. So I tell you, it's not in vain. But let me take that off here. So okay. So enlarge that. Can anybody enlarge the screens to see it?
Yeah, I think I see it.
Make it bigger.
Okay, so in purple,
You see 85. You see Highway 29 in the middle of the screen,
Oh,
right
yeah, I
under
see
the goal.
85. Yeah.
right? We're the purple district.
Okay.
And so you know what purple district, you know what the color that represent, right?
Yeah, royalty.
That's what I'm just saying. I get that. That's all I'm saying. And we are the fifth district. Absolutely. So we are royal. Yeah, absolutely. So that
start
is
at the bottom. Where is that
Mhm.
at the bottom under 85?
That's District 5 right here. That's coming off 85 flat shows.
No, at the bottom,Lasada Road, Buffington.
No, that's right. That's 7.
No, right here in purple on the screen.
Buffington Road right there.
No, Woods. No, that's
Mm.
Cedarhurst. Okay, yeah, that's the Point of Ridge district. And so
Shannon Lake
Really?
Drive.
Buffington Drive,
Mm-hmm.
coming off Buffington Road.
Hidden Brook.
Yeah, that's all up in Point of Ridge up there, coming off
Yeah,
the
that's
flat
for, yeah,
shows.
that's for.
And then
Mhm.
there's flat shows.
Yeah, we
So
showing a
some
copy
of
of it.
Point of
I'm-
Ridge is in our district?
Right. Oh, Point of Ridge, yes. And that's the community. That's where I grew up, right there, Burkhurst
Me
Drive. And so,
too.
you know, did you? Hey, get this. I'm just saying, like, and so the opportunity right there to have that in is was awesome. So, but I want to get this map and blow it up because we haven't. That's why I said I want to get a copy of it and blow it up so that when I come and people can see it, it could actually. And I'm just going to extrapolate out.
So why don't
just
we'll
District
have
5.
one for next meeting in person so people can come up and see it.
Right. And I want the original map how it was and then what we changed. And so we're going to have 2 blown up maps of that version and then have one of extrapolated out from District 5 to 6. So we want people to know what was and what is.
So there's a question. How is it that there's like gold in the middle of purple?
That's the way they're drawn up because it has to be, if you go in the middle, that's the way it has to be. If you go reduce it, it has to be down continuous. So part of that is in 7s. It was the other side. Get this. It was the other side of that gold. If you move it to the left, it was that other side, which that continues down Stacks Road. But then that was moved over so that we can move up and across the tracks.
So Melanie
Because it had to
Woods,
be contiguous.
Melanie Woods
So-
and Melanie Lane and Pierce Road are not going to be District 5?
No, they're not. They're not.
Okay.
That's going to be a part. That's going to be a part of District 7.
Is Waverly Park in there? Mallory Road? At
Mallory
29?
Road is right here. See it, Dot Drive, Spurgeon,
The left
Forest
side.
Road, Mallory, Melanie Lane.
Yes, that is now part of 7.
Are you
Where'd
guys
you say?
mentioning Magnificent 7? The golden
Magnif-
part is Magnificent 7, right?
I guess it's golden, right? The Magnificent 7.
Yes, sir.
Okay, wait a minute.
Yes,
So Waverly Park is no longer in 5.
I don't believe. No, yeah. I think it's out. I think it's in 7 now.
What you say?
It was. This is what we have. Is no. What get this? Stop right there. Stop right there. Stop right there. Winston
Yeah,
Drive,
I'm Winston
Alverson.
Circle. So I'm in. Yeah, I'm in
Oh, get
another.
there. Yep. Part. You know what? Part of Waverly Park, going down that line. Yeah. Part of y'all are in. Oh yeah, we'll be out. Part of y'all are in 7,
Who
and part of
did
y'all
all
are in
this?
5.
What in the world?
Yeah. So part of us is in 5 and part of us is in 7.
Now,
I'm in
Like
what brought
Bush
7.
all
Road.
this on?
Oh,
I'm located on Bobby Road and Brittany Trail. Where would part that would be a part of?
Where's Brentwood Place? Are we still in 5?
yeah, y'all still in 5.
Oh, well, what brought all this change on, man?
Oh, hey, it is when they change the maps, the census data. Hey, the census data. Oh, they changed these maps over there, and then when they change it over, there's consequences over there when you change the maps too by the state. By the way, so
Yes,
that's just what
yes.
happens. Is, you know what I mean? Redistricting and things go
That's what
around.
the census
So
did. Okay.
it's all a part of
So,
this. This is all coming because it has to be, and it's to bring us in
So
alignment.
Brittany Trail will be still a part of District 5.
Right. But
Wow.
what we gonna do is have another call specifically dealing with this map situation, because this is not for this call. This map deal is not for this call. So,
Right.
but it is something that is on the first read on this agenda item. So this just making you aware of it. But we'll schedule another call just
We'll
to deal with this
save it
map
for
situation.
next
Right.
month in person. So
Right.
everybody come in person so you can see the maps.
No, we want to address it. Right. We'll have this in, as I want this up sooner than later. And because whenever we have an event, like we'll have the maps with us so that people can come by and take a look and put their hands on it. I don't want to wait till like next month to do it, because we have a first read on this tomorrow.
Okay.
And so we want to be able to have people to come out and look at it, as to be made aware of what changes are to come. And this is something that people have to do out there per their community, per their district, per area. But it's something that we had to do and that had to be changed. And understand something, we fought to keep our stuff in, but this is one of the maps that everybody could be amenable on and to agree upon. And so it's that brings everything, and it brings all the districts into alignment. So now, we're going back to the agenda item here, as I'm not going to get caught up. I don't want to get caught up on this map situation, but we'll schedule another call. We'll have matter of fact, we can talk about it next Monday. And I'm gonna try to get these things printed up so that folks can come down and look at it. And I'm not gonna have it at City Hall. I just probably put them down here at Burdette, just to leave them down here so people can come by here anytime and take it out. If you want to see them in person.
Okay.
Okay.
Hold on. I got to put somebody on mute.
Maybe me.
Everybody's not on mute.
Never see.
Okay.
One.
So the next item over there is we're gonna keep going on to the charter amendment, the creation of the city auditor. Then we have an ordinance, Department of Public Affairs. That's the second read. Department of Communications and External Affairs, second read. A charter amendment, city clerk duties, that's a second read. We're going to approve an emergency ordinance, or council approval of an emergency ordinance declaring a state of emergency and the city meetings to be held virtually and for other lawful purposes. That's basically giving us the ability to have virtual meetings.
Councilman,
yes.
why is that continuing? And help me understand why that's only for one meeting and not the other.
Well, actually, let me tell you something. When they put this ordinance in place, it's for both meetings. if you want to take advantage of it. Like, in other words, if we put this in place tomorrow, like the virtual meetings, you have your work sessions virtually. But if I did not want to attend a council meeting, I don't have to. I can do it virtually. I can literally legit attend tomorrow's meeting virtually. I don't have to be there in person. I made this point when we had this at South Fulton Arts Center, and I intentionally showed up after the intermission just to prove a point. And so, because we was originally having the work sessions meeting here at Burdett, and then was having council meetings at Southwest Arts Center. We could have had the council meetings at any one of the locations. Remember, council is homeless. We have no home. And so it's and when we had the last meeting over there at Welcome Home, there was an AT&T problem. I guess they hit the lines, but it wasn't able to stream live. So that's interesting. But it is to put into place, because if you look at the numbers are rising. We do have a mask ordinance in public buildings, which I'm violating right now, except we have one person in there, but I'm speaking, yes.
Well, the CDC said today that they were going to drop it.
It's hybrid.
Councilman Reeves, unmute.
Does he know he on mute?
Councilman Reeves, unmute, please.
I did unmuted. So no, okay. So what we have is we have a question, and so this is a good situation, because we just have this right here live. Then we go over the agenda on the fourth Mondays, right? This is before our council meeting tomorrow. People can get heard. That's what the reason we schedule legislative Mondays is, because some people had this. We've been doing this a year now. It was a year last week, but some people might have questions on the agenda, might not get the public comment. Well, or comment publicly. Some people have an issue with that, but this is a way that people say they can't get in touch with me, can't view me, I don't know. You can catch me every Monday at 6:30, but every fourth Monday, you can catch me right here at Burdett. And that's the Mondays before the agenda. So we have questions about the agenda, what's going on. This is the time to come together and voice your opinions. What is it about the agenda that you like? What is it that you don't like? Or what is it that I am doing, or how I see things that is on the agenda, or whatever the question that you may have about the agenda going on the council meeting for which is tomorrow. Y'all have the opportunity to come and ask me right now. And so that's what we go over. Yes, sir.
Where does it stand with setting the agenda?
That's on the mayor, and that's on the mayor and the city manager. We don't set the agenda. We put forth items to go through the legislative process to be on the agenda, and we have a timeline to do that. And so, but as far as who sets the agenda, that is the mayor and the city manager.
So that never was changed.
That's the mayor and the city manager. And that's who sets the agenda. Right.
Do you want to continue on the agenda?
Yeah, no. Right, because the mayor, no, we're talking about the agenda. No, are you talking about with Camelot? Yeah, because we. But the Camelot situation specifically, I know you're talking about, specifically the Camelot situation was addressed. It was addressed by staff. And we
For
put it
those
out
of
there.
us who are not in person, you have to repeat the question.
Okay. Go ahead, ask a question.
No, you just have to repeat it because everybody can't hear the other people talk.
I got you. Well, we're gonna obviously need somebody here too, Tamiko. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like, because I'm not gonna be able to do it. But what she asked me is that when the mayor, one question was asked, who sets the agenda, right? And the mayor and the city manager sets the agenda. Then the next question was, well, she said, who approved the agenda? No, she said, because council over there voted against what the mayor put on. She specifically talked about the apartment, the condos on, Camelot. And then the council voted to remove that item off the agenda. And because they wanted to ask questions and have discussion. What the mayor sets the agenda. These are the checks and balances. But these are the checks and balances. The mayor and the city manager puts on the agenda.
So if they put it on the agenda, why are they at the meeting?
No. The mayor and council sets the agenda. The mayor and the city manager sets the agenda. The city council, we put things through the legislative process to get on the agenda. However, the items, if we put items through the legislative process that was not on the agenda but has went through the process, the city council has the ability to walk it on. If the city council also has the ability to take agendas and remove items off the agenda with 4 votes.
So was Camelot one of the items on the agenda?
I'm sorry. Hold on. Here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna take one question from the audience, then I'm gonna take one question from people on the phone. Then we're gonna do, because and then we're gonna just do it like, because I'm here by myself, so that's what we're gonna do. Okay. So now the next question is the person who was on the phone.
Daphne Johnson.
Go ahead, Ms. Johnson.
What I was asking is was Camelot on the agenda and it was removed from the agenda? Because this is a real problem over in Camelot. We have a guy that's in the back of Camelot that shoots either towards the lake or towards these homes. He done caused 2 families to move out of this neighborhood that we're in over here in Twin Lakes.
Oh, 3 Lakes, Ms. Johnson. Yeah, right. I'm aware of the situation, and that's a police issue we're working on there to extinguish the problem, the core of the issue. And so, hello?
I'm here.
Yeah, so we are working to do with the law enforcement, whose job that is to do that. So
it seems like they can't do anything about it. They tell me.
No, not true. So the thing with Camelot is condominiums. So they're probably on. It is an HOA. If we address Camelot, we got to address Buffington Park. We got to address Waverly Park. We got to address Riggins Ridge. I'm talking about Brentwood. It's all put all of them on the agenda now, and then the rest of the over 600 HOAs in the city.
Well,
no. But that's a correct statement. That is a correct statement. And so
I agree.
we all know, get this. Camelot is privately owned. If they were city-owned property, that means the city could do something about it.
Right.
We cannot do nothing about Camelot. Not in the manner and the time frame that you want something done in, because we have to go through a legal process. This process that we're going through is we're addressing Camelot, but it's a process. It ain't something overnight. Okay. Well, that's not my issue, because my issue is we are going and addressing it, okay? But we have to address it in the proper manner for it to be effective. We still got grown people over there seniors who own property over there, and we have nowhere for them to go, and we are in the market rate climax of housing, which that's an issue. So if somebody can tell me where we're gonna place them, where we're gonna go, let's talk about that. And so, because can't nobody tell me that. Ain't nobody telling me that.
But I understand your position totally. I do. I understand. But we're losing families out here in our neighborhood. And this one may be me.
That still leaves us out there. But I wanted to get back to the agenda. I mean, I know they just took me to the.
I mean, because they wanted to address that, but I'm just saying that I can't spend more than 5 minutes on one particular topic.
I understand.
But right. But I could call you offline and I'll talk to you about that and deal with that, so we can, move on in respect for other people's time. Because y'all know I try to keep everything on an hour. It is Monday night. It is football season. I let people get back. Get right. get this. That's not my priority. My priority is to make sure you hear from me. But I'm just saying I respect people's time.
Right, I
See, that's
understand.
not true. But how? That's not true. That's not true. And I'm not gonna. I'm here. We can address that. Yes. And so yes. And so we're gonna move on from that one. No. What I need is it's gonna be out here for because last time I did it, nobody showed up. Right? Nobody was here. No, this first time anybody outside of Mario coming is here, right? So it was not a problem. So that's been doing it on Monday. But however, we are here now, but we at here. So we do, and as I'm speaking, I'm talking to the people here at who are alive because we have to figure this thing out. So on this case, and we're figuring it out right now. We're literally figuring this out together as we have to work through this as to be most effective for the people who showed up, okay, to get personally, and for the people who have been joining us on this call and been on here for a year, right? So, and how's it gonna be effective, right? And we need two people, because I do need somebody else here. Tamiko just can't make it, she has other issues, and she would have normally been here because we can moderate who's on the screen, because I can be dealing with here direct. And so we could be asking questions in the chat. So I'm gonna say this, let's do that. Tamiko,
Yes.
ask the questions from the questions in the chat. Anybody got a question on live, just put it in the chat. You read it off to me, and I'll just say, what's the next question, okay?
Okay.
All right. So we'll make that happen.
So how about we do this then? How about you read and explain what the agenda items are so that they can be putting their questions in the chat. And then when you get through the agenda, then we can start answering the questions.
Right.
So that you at least make sure you go through the whole agenda on what's going on tomorrow.
Good.
All righty.
Okay. So, right. We'll lose somebody. So.
All right.
Okay, that was the current state of emergency. The ordinance regulating temporary employees. Then approval for the implementation of the South Fulton Police Department incentive pay plan effective October the 1st. Their employees will be eligible up for $10,000 in incentives in addition to their base salary. And that's going to be South Fulton Police Department General Fund. Then we have an intermission. Then we have public hearing presentations. So we have a request of a resolution to modify the geographical boundaries of the city's South Fulton urban redevelopment area by adding Fulton Industrial Boulevard. This redevelopment area will be considered URA 14, Fulton Industrial Boulevard. That's economic development. We're gonna have an Old National update, the LCI, the collaborative firm. Alcohol license rezonings, variance
Can you
and modification
pause for a
cases.
moment, just so everybody knows? I don't know how many of them they're going to have, but that next LCI meeting is October 27th up at Woods Memorial. So try to make sure you attend that so you can find out what they're gonna do to change Old National.
Right, put that in the chat as well. And so then a request for approval of alcohol license for general wholesale. That's for alcohol license to wholesale beer at 300 Villanova Drive. That's D1. Alcohol license for Crown on Points LLC. That's in District 1. Request for approval alcohol license Gas Express, District 1. Consideration special permit for a boarding school located on Stonewall District 3. A special use permit for a hair salon located on Old National, that's D5. Request consideration request of rezone from AG1 to CUP for 77 family homes on Hall Road. Then we have the agenda on part 2, the American Rescue Plan Act, which is approval to enter into an agreement with Giaco Inc., DBA Live Stores Forward for $126,000 to include a marketing component for ARP mortgage and rental assistance programs. Communications has prepared the marketing materials. Staff is negotiating for a reduction of $11,000 in their marketing and outreach budget from $17,500 to $6,500. That's from the ARP FY22 funding. That's CDRA. Now we have planning and public works. And so request for transfer 1.3 million from general fund revenue to CD, community development professional service for 2 outstanding consulting agreements for professional services, Charles Abbott and Associates. Questions about that? And so request approval for new mobile stage from a single sole source vendor in the amount of 216,000 using funds that was approved at the mid-year budget to the Winger Corporation. That's because we need another stage, Parks and Recs. So we will have 2. Request an agreement with the City of Atlanta Department of Watershed to serve as a framework between 2 municipalities related to relocation of water lines and conflict with proposed construction of the intersection at bridge projects. That's Public Works. That's an amount of $93,738. Request approval. This is agenda item 24. Request approval of payment for costs associated with the relocation of conflicting power lines imposed on a double roundabout project T242 at Butner Road and Stonewall Tail project. Relocation costs in the amount of $76,150. So we have allocated from account 335-410054100 Public Works. Tamiko, find out what account line item that is. Is it from Public Works? That what they said, that account line item? Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
You can ask questions, but some people, for the sake of the edification, is some people didn't read it. That's why I go over it and then we ask a question. Well, we took that. Normally we would have been done by now, but we took the time to answer the deals. But I just did that because I'm going to stay with the structure, the format, how we do it. That's why I just short version read it, because I'd really expect people to just kind of look over the glance over it. But let me get to the next one right here. So the item 25, request a contract right away for the Camp Creek Bridge and Cochran Road. 26, request of approval plat for plant subdivision. 27, supplemental agreement with QK4 in the amount of 87,000. And then 28, we have a right-of-way ordinance amendment 2, and this is the second read. 29 is a transfer station text amendment. And 30 is professional service agreement with Low Engineers, traffic engineering. And so then 31, we got public safety, got alcohol ordinance, second read. Then we have a resolution.
I'm sorry, Councilman, what's the 8? Is this 31? What's speed table?
He's reading something.
Okay, yeah.
What's
what?
speed table? On 31, request council approval of installation of a speed table. What the heck is that?
No, where you
Speed
at?
bumps, speed bumps.
Those are speed bumps?
Yes.
Number 31, Councilman, I think you was on 31, weren't you?
Yeah,
Yeah, it says
some
public
people
safety.
say speed tables are better than speed bumps.
Yeah, because they must be wider, longer or something.
Yeah, Miss Jane, the speed tables are longer. Those are the ones that when you go over, it's not of a big of a bump, basically, when you go over those. Yeah, so
okay.
if you heard from the mayor, he was saying that he's a proponent of speed tables versus speed bumps, which are more, like I said, they mess up cars better. But I would like to plug in that I'm a proponent of smart speed bumps, the ones that if you are going the speed limit, you roll over them like water. If you are over the speed limit, then it becomes a bump.
That's the ones I'm for right there.
Okay, smart speed bump?
Yeah, smart speed bumps. What they use is
They work.
non-Newtonic fluid. So basically the fluid changes based upon the speed that the person is going. If the person is going the right amount of speed, you whirl over it just like water. If you're going above the speed limit, then it is a speed bump. And it is a
Okay, well,
deterrent.
we're gonna, thank y'all very much. Speed,
Huh?
smart speed bumps. There
And that's the
it
thing,
is.
we
Do I
need them
have to
on now, but what we have to realize is this: there's only one neighborhood that has a speed bump, so this will de facto be the second neighborhood. The first neighborhood have is in District 7, where I am, but it's in the Fife area, which is the farmers area. And you know, I mean, I talked to my opponent. I'm running for council, by the way, in District 7. Yes, but
Who this
my
I'm trying to
opponent
do?
has them in
Something.
his neighborhood,
Oh.
and it's like. You can't be the only neighborhood with them if we have a budget of over 4 million.
Okay, so look here.
Well, all right.
And
Well,
for the
thank
sake of
y'all. I
time
mean, I
on here,
appreciate the information.
Finish through the agenda list.
hey, for the sake of time here, is no, we just go ahead straight to the question. We're not gonna have time to go through all of that.
Okay.
Go ahead and just go ahead and
Well,
ask.
thank
And
y'all.
if you put y'all questions in the chat, and I'm gonna take these questions over here. We're gonna ask one question in here, one question on the chat, okay? So let's make that happen. So go ahead. We're gonna start here. Go ahead. A comment?
Or the comments in the chat.
Those young people are working in 9 degrees weather. The last week they had to go back to October at 4 o'clock afternoon because the man refused to come upstairs to address the air conditioning system because of 6 weeks. We're frustrated. I'm not going to change 50 kids to more than that guys over there. I have 2 over here. The other thing is CPS.
We have a comment about the T-Mobile working in extreme heat conditions from a slumlord.
You go to the shelter, nothing stops. It's like COVID all over the shelter.
Right. A comment about the CVS, the local CVS. And there not being nothing stocked at the local CVS. Right. Well, that's our accountability when we got to get on the landlords, the people who own the property, is because they're renting the property. They can just pack up and go. They're not owners of the property. So we have people who is responsible for the building. And so that's something that we have, well, right. You'll reach out to corporations, but their corporate will be like, well, that's on the landlord. We have a building, or if they own the land and that's their building, you know what I mean? What do they plan on doing? Are they trying to divest from the community? That's what we also have to ask ourselves as well. So it's a fine line. What's the next question in the chat?
All righty. What is the status of proposed development on Old National Highway opposite World Changers Church, as well as Old National Park? There seems to be some confusion about the funds that the city received from the project developer.
There's no confusion about it. The city conveyed over 2 parcels of land. And what the problem is they're saying it's 3 parcels of land, which includes the park. So there's no confusion about that. That's not the case. And there seems to be some things that legality has to work on. So what I'm not going to be at liberty to discuss that until legal addresses that, because I don't want to say anything or get anything misconstrued or put something out there that's not accurate. And but we will wait, and that is under a close eye watch from what we're doing from this side of the Cohen Council, because it seems to be a little problem with the conveyance of that property. Question live here. No, we asked questions about this. Yeah, so this no free time to ask anything.
Yeah, so on the agenda, you say that I asked you who sets the agenda. You said city manager and the mayor sets the agenda. Then you came back and you said with 4 votes, the council could remove an item from the agenda.
Or add or walk an agenda on that has went through the legislative process that was not put on the agenda.
Okay.
Right.
When was those change voted?
It's always been like that.
That's always.
It's always been like that.
Sure.
It's always been like that. If you go back and watch previous meetings over there, you can go back and see on tape where that has been done before. Before when we had the previous mayor in, and before since the inception of the city. That's always been in place.
Yeah, I'm gonna research that.
Go again, it's a factual statement. And so that has nothing's been changed. Next chat question.
I live on Brittany Trail. There are no street lights and I work second shift. Can there be street lights on Brittany Trail?
Oh, there absolutely can be. And so this is one of the things that to talk about is to put that in and put Splash, and what we talk about is and T-Splash as they'll try to put those streetlights in there. But there are actually ways that you can get streetlights in. That's why we're having a grant team come in, because there are grants for infrastructure things that outside of Splash and T-Splash that could be administered for those purposes. So we are, and we're going to be working close with our grants person to try to get that question. I mean, to get the most benefit out of that. Okay, next question here.
City ordinance or there is a city ordinance for
Right. As they said, is there a city ordinance on the books that putting a dog to tying a dog to a tree? That's the question here. Code
Yes,
enforcement, actually, there has to be.
yes,
There has to be,
Yes,
because the
you
code
can't leave
there's
enforcement.
an
them tied
ordinance.
up.
There's an ordinance. You can't tie dogs to trees
Right.
or any type of object outside unless you're out there with them, because of
Right.
the fact that storms can happen immediately. And if you're
Or
not
they
out
have to be on a runner.
Code enforcement.
yeah.
Right. Okay, cool. All right. Next chat question.
We have the out call for the people who want to participate on helping with the grant writing class. And we are going to have training this Wednesday and Thursday from 4 to 8 p.m. You have to attend both days. It's an 8-hour training. And you have to commit to working with the District 5 group on helping to write a government grant or a community grant for services in the area. Now, I still have a couple of slots. So if you are participating, then I need to know that tonight. As of right now, I have Ms. Collins, Ms. McLemondor, Ms. Henson, Ms. Armster, and if I'm missing someone else, I need to know your names.
What days are those again, Tamika?
This Wednesday, 4 to 8 p.m. And this went Thursday, 4 to 8 p.m. over at Burdette. And then we're gonna come up with the days that we'll meet on a weekly or bi-weekly basis to work as a group on writing a grant. So you'll be given a grant to work on that you must complete within the next 60 to 90 days.
Oh, man,
Yes, and that's going to be a commitment, because see, I'm committed to bringing in a technical person. See, understand this is, these grants, we really can help our communities out. One is by having grants. Two is by having eligible nonprofits. When I say my eligible nonprofits is that we can't just, I don't deal with nonprofits that says, hey, I'm just having a nonprofit, so that's cool. Is no, you must commit to writing a grant and having certified audits. And we're trying to take the nonprofits here who make an impact in this area to the next level. And, as most of them have nonprofits for 8 years, 5 years, but getting undone and says, I can't get no funding. Well, it's a business of a nonprofit. It's still a business. It's just a nonprofit. And that's what we educate people on, is like, you legitimately have to do that, commit to these certified audits, and let's raise it to the next level. Like Chick-fil-A they sponsor 300 nonprofits a year, and none from this area, where we're changing that because we're going to have some done because of the process that we have started, and to end up there to grow them so they can have a maximum impact in our communities. And so that's what we're aiming for, and that's what we're rolling with. And so, okay, next question here. You had a question? Yes.
Has the development discontinued for Old National area, this out, and determined for in the area? And how can you, as our representative, assist us in what we want for our community? That is.
Mm-hmm.
Can you vote along with everything? I've never seen this campaign.
Okay. And so she said, I'll never stand up for District 5, and I'm going to vote to the development Is any development coming on Old National? Has the development discontinued? No, there's not, no development has, is there any specific development you're talking about? Oh, they was being sued from one of their investors. They were sued. The specific development you're talking about from the development authority on the land that we conveyed over to them to purposes to develop that area. That's right across from the park, the area across from, that's what we were talking about earlier. That's specific, yeah, that's the specific development, right? That's just that area. Yeah, other developments, that anything else that was going on is should be continuation, should be continuing. Right. And then your second part was, you said, how can we advocate or not advocate for roundabouts? Like where specifically?
Traffic just stops right there, so just.
Yeah, oh, right now, right, the one that I got caught up in, I passed Miss Collins on the way over here. And so, yes, and so you talking about at the Royal 85 shop? Oh, well, perfect time to bring this up is, they're asking about the development as, for, like 85. Well, Jim, let's get ready, because, you know what I mean?
If you're speaking, Councilman Reeves, we can't hear you. All righty, I think we lost him. So in the meantime, between time, let me reiterate what I was getting ready to type in the chat about the grant class. So although learning how to grant write is a good thing for some people, the goal that we are paying for to help do this training is to support the initiatives of the people for this community, to get someone to come in and help us write these grants and do the training. So in order for you to participate in the grant class, you have to be committed to helping to actually write these grants that we need to help bring resources to the community here. So the class is scheduled for this Wednesday, 4 to 8 p.m. and this Thursday, 4 to 8 p.m. instead of an all-day, one-day class. We broke it into 2 days and did it in the afternoon, going into the evening, so that people could go to work and come in early if they wanted to participate. We have currently 3 slots left. So if you would like to participate and are willing to commit to doing the work of helping write the grants, you can send an email directly to me. The class is not virtual, it is in person. We'll be at Burdett. So the instructor is coming in person, and we will sit down as a group and do the training. And those who are in the group, while we're in training, we'll come up with the day and time of the week that'll work best for us to continue to meet as a collective to work on making sure we're working towards getting these grants done. I will put my email in the chat. Hold on. I'm trying to give him time to get back on while I'm talking.
Tamika?
I'm here.
Oh, yes, about the grant, does that mean we come to both classes? Is that my understanding?
That is correct, because it's an 8-hour class.
Oh.
So that's a lot to absorb in one day. So we broke it into 2 days, which is still a lot, but at least you get a brain break.
Oh, okay. That is a lot. Okay, all right. Thank you.
All right. So we don't mind that you're going to get the information, for yourself, but the goal of using the city funds is to make sure we're writing stuff to help the city and make sure like we get those special speed bumps and different resources that are available to us that we're not applying for. So that's the point of what the councilman came up with, is why not build us a team of people in our community that is willing to learn to help us submit and apply for things. Whether the city is capable or not, we'll have a team that can do it. So that's the goal. I don't know if he's gonna make it, so I'm gonna try to just give you a couple of tips as residents. You can always call the office if you have questions for the councilman. The office number is 809-7705. The main city number will always transfer you if you need it, but you can always call the office. We are going to schedule his evening callback times to be around 5 to 6:30 on Monday nights. So I know some people can't call during the day, so he'll call back in the evening. You can always send an email. You don't have to wait for a call. If you have HOA meetings coming, we do need to know those days and times so I can put it on his calendar so that he can attend. Miss Sheila is coordinating the next HOA group meeting that I believe is scheduled. Is that for next Wednesday, Miss Sheila?
I thought it was the 18th.
It could be. I wasn't looking at the calendar. I just know you were
Yeah,
working.
it's October. Yeah, it's October the 18th.
And
yes,
October
it's
what?
on the 18th.
18th?
I think it's Tuesday, October the 18th.
So we'll be sending that email out to the HOAs. If your HOA is not meeting or is not passing on information that we're providing to them, then send an email to me and let me know you would like the information for your neighborhood. We want whoever is willing to step up and get the information and pass it on, to pass it on. We don't want to hear a neighborhood didn't get the information. So please let us know. We know we have HOAs that we have not heard from. We've sent out emails. We have some HOAs, we don't have a contact person. And so we do need it to be a two-way communication. We can schedule this information. We can, create opportunities to communicate and talk. But if we don't have someone, then we can't do it. Miss Sheila is actually going to be giving some tips on some things that have happened in their community. And they'll be taking a little mini tour on some places to pay attention to on how they're going to work out some things. But we'll be in person with Councilman Reeves. That won't be on Zoom, but we'll be in person. So we'll be sending out that email for the HOAs.
Hey, Tamiko.
Yes.
there's some people here live that are interested in a grant writing class and signing up. So I think if you can either put the information in the chat or either QR code, something we can pass to those individuals.
I put my email in the chat. They need to send the email to me. Can you provide my email to them?
Yes, I will.
All right. Okay. They just gave me a message. Councilman Reeves' phone has died, which is why we lost him. All righty. Is there anything that you need me to make sure we put on his list of things to pay attention to before we wrap up?
Tamiko, this is Sheila Brown. There's a Sandra that's on the call that wanted to know about getting lights in their area. I typed them a personal message in the chat. I'm not sure if they picked it up. Asked them to look in the chat. I put some information in it and my phone number.
Yeah, she's a guru. That's why we going to her. Alrighty. Is there anyone else who has anything? And I do want to make a comment really quickly. I want to make a comment on my own personal experience. I attended the last Old National LCI meeting, and the consulting company is providing the information of the demographics of the neighborhoods, the area, the locations that you could potentially put in different businesses. They're asking for what kind of businesses do you want here? What kind of services do you want here? What do you need here that you feel like is not here? And so the conversation turned into talking about cleaning the streets, and the consultants are not in charge of cleaning. And so as a community, we got to kind of be clear on the agenda and the topics that are on the table instead of going left and talking about stuff that may not be relevant to the moment. And so no one gave input as to what they want in their community. As consultants, they still get the document that they came to the community. So whatever they put in their recommendations, if no one gives feedback, you get what they put in there. They don't have anything to do with upkeep. They have to do with development and construction. And so if you do go to the next meeting, please go and let them know, what do you want to be developed and put into your community? That is what that point of the meeting is. The cleanup is part of your current services that you have to do with talking to Public Works or your council, but they are not in charge of that meeting. The consultants are in charge of it, and they're trying to get your feedback. And I did not see a lot of people there for the amount of people that this change is going to impact.
What date is that again, Tamiko? I'm sorry.
I think it is, I send the newsletter. I think it's
Okay, I'll
October
look at
27th.
it. I'm sorry. I'll look at it.
No, you're fine. I'm just not looking at the newsletter, but I believe it's October 27th, off the top of my head. If you are not getting the newsletter, then please, again, send me your email so that we can make sure you're getting the newsletter, because we put tons of stuff in there.
Yeah, it's a lot in there. That's a lot in there, girl. Y'all do y'all job with that.
We make sure we send you information overload, boy.
Tamika.
Yes.
This Miss Johnson, I will be on that Zoom with him tomorrow. So I will be expressing what we need on Old National.
Good. And I can tell you, Miss Collins, I mean, Miss Johnson is one of the few who do follow the guidelines of sending the emails or putting her information in on the timelines. We are going to coordinate some classes on understanding government and understanding positions and how the process works. So just stay tuned for that. That's going to be our next round. We do have family movie night coming for the Old National District. It will be over at that Fellwood Park on October 8th at 8 o'clock sundown, but there'll be activities before it goes down. There'll be food trucks. There'll be some other stuff to entertain you. So please, a free night out. Look, we on
Fellwood Park?
I'm sorry. I said Fellwood Park. I'm sorry. I was thinking of Miss Johnson. Burnett Park.
Burnett. Oh,
Miss
okay, Burnett.
Johnson's in Fellwood.
Oh, okay.
And I switched
Where's
to
that
Burnett.
one?
Thank you, Miss Jane.
Okay.
Thank
Okay.
you. It is at Burnett Park.
Burnett Park.
The
Okay.
city is closing this week on that field. So that is now going to be our field. And so that'll be our first event as the city, is to have the family movie night. It's free and open to the public. So bring out your family and enjoy a night of fun, in the world of expenses. Do something that's, worth within a budget of free. With that being said, I'm gonna close out the meeting, since I'm not the councilman, and that is who you are here to talk to. But we will be back all online next week. And if anyone wants to come in person to the regular council meeting, it is tomorrow at 4 p.m. at Welcome All. All right, did I miss anything, Miss Jane?
No, ma'am. Super great, girlfriend. Super great.
No, we were just finishing up. We had a sidebar tiny home conversation.
Well,
all right.
Okay, Tamiko, but you great.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.
Thank you. You
Thank
too.
you,
See y'all
Tamika.
soon. Bye.
All righty.